I don't start fights, but if one happens, I make the most of it. I let the others see me bite a man's face so hard, I take a chunk out of it.
Inside the mind of a violent offender. If you really want to learn how to defend yourself, you have to learn what you're defending yourself against. So don't die from ignorance. Understand the threat in front of you. So we're going to take a deep dive into the mind of a kidnapper. And this is my expertise in particular. I'll give you a little bit of an insight on what he's thinking, but most importantly, what you can do to defend yourself, given that you may be a target of a violent crime. So keep watching.
Just cooperate, stay cool. If you can do that, this will all go nicely.
It's not something that you can take on face value, that if you comply, that will lead to your safety.
But if not, sorry pal, I'm going to you up, little by little, by hitting you, burning you, or chopping you into bits.
And that's a classic insight in the limitations or the lack of boundaries that this individual and many people like him have when committing violent crimes against you.
They are young men just like me. We look normal, but we're sick in the head.
The fact that he's saying that they look normal is really an indication that these people are grey men. They will be in the environment around you, not necessarily with any gang insignia that will identify them, but they'll blend into the environment. Situational awareness will allow you to identify potential risks and threats ahead of time.
I see myself as a good guy, but if you mess with me, I'll you up. I'll kill you.
Very often with violent criminal offenders, they see themselves as being the hero in their own story. Their violent response will be internally justified to them. So that means that there's no limitations to what they're prepared to do.
I make sure I get the really bad guys on side, that I get along with the worst, hardest guys of all. And if there are tensions between cartel people, I take advantage of it. I don't start fights, but if one happens, I make the most of it.
These types of individuals are opportunistic. They'll look for every opportunity to gain an advantage, whether it be you coming along or whether it be within their own hierarchy. This is how these people think. These individuals look for any opportunity to improve their own gain. Bad guys may have the capability and the intention, but you have to deny them the opportunity to attack you.
We are a family. We live with each other, buy clothes for each other. And if you with us, we have someone earning over $1 million a month watching our backs. And he looks after us like we're his children. But we do kill each other a lot. It's normal, man. If you have a lot of dogs in a nest, well, they'll end up fighting for some reason. You must always have fear. Fear and adrenaline. When you cease to be afraid, that's when you're dead. There are lots of different ways of kidnapping someone. Generally, I'll stare at the victim, let them see my eyes.
The thing to take away from that is that if someone has violent intention towards you, whether it be for a robbery or a simple assault, they may crave to make eye contact with you. So escape and avoidance has to be your first line of defense against these people. At all times, your emphasis should be to avoid and then escape when encountered. But this requires you to be aware of their presence in the first place. You must be able to identify people within your environment that are potential risks to yourselves.
They start crying, and I say, calm down, bro. We're going to do this the civilized way. I don't want to traumatize you. I'm interested in money, that's all.
Just note how he repeats he's only interested in money. Most offenders choose a target based on what they're likely to get out of it versus the success of achieving it. And if it's unlikely to happen for them, they'll move on to another target. So most offenders, even violent offenders, have a low tolerance of risk. So denying the opportunity is a better level of self-defense.
If the victims behave, we don't mistreat them. You don't even have to go for the victim. You can take his girlfriend. You tell her, so, you have a boyfriend. You have such a pretty face. And so on. Then you boil a pan of water, show it to her and say, now, tell me where the he is or I'll pour this on you. And because the girlfriend's pretty, she'll grass him up.
These types of individuals would do that, but it's a threat.
It works with the wives too. If you threaten their children with a pan of water, they'll grass up their husbands. It's not difficult. I I tell them, listen bro, I'm not going to mutilate him. Not unless you're f***ing this up. But if I suspect you're f***ing with me, then I'm going to start pulling his limbs off. And if the family is really making problems, sometimes it's easier just to kill the guy. Kidnapping someone in Mexico is very easy, and it's a faster way of getting cash than drugs. You can earn anything up to $2 million.
If these people are motivated purely for financial gain, then they'll always look for an easy target. And if you remove the opportunity, they'll move on to another target.
It's like being a rock star. You get anything you want. So it's very hard to give up. But at the same time, there's always a sadness in me. And the two things together drive me crazy.
So that comes back to that hero narrative that I mentioned earlier. The hero narrative is where these individuals feel that they're good guys, but they're forced to do bad things. But overall, it drives them crazy, and that's how they internally justify violence against you, because they feel like they're just good in the majority of occasions and only bad in the minority.
I don't have any regrets, not concerning those I've killed, but I can only ever be happy 70%, whilst 30% is f***ed. Truth is, I already f***ed my life, man, but this is a cycle of life.
It's very hard to give empathy to individuals that have this form of rational calculation.
If you're going to be an asshole, then be the biggest and best asshole there is.
So what's the takeaway? When strategizing your self-defense, you have to consider a number of factors. 1, when someone has the intention and the capability, deny them the opportunity. 2, when you have to defend yourself, you have to be all in, 100% committed, because this person is going to be fully committed to achieving their objectives over you. And that can make all the difference to your self-defense capability. And it's a simple way of remembering that. ICE. Intercept, control, escape. And if you can remember those 3 factors, just simply being aware of what's happening around you and improving and increasing your ability to escape and to mobilize will keep you safe. Thanks for watching.